Welcome to Talmudic Treasures. Today we're learning Ketubot page 7, which discusses, among other things, the special blessings that are recited, which are called Sheva Brachos. When a person gets married under the chuppah, there is these special brachot that are said, in which are discussed here as well on the next page. Now we find that when it comes to a woman who has been previously married, whether she is divorced or a widow, if it's her second marriage and she's marrying a man who also this is his second marriage, so there's only 1 day of Sheva Brachot that are recited. However, there's still 3 days of rejoicing, 3 days of simcha. However, in the event where the woman, even if she is a widow or it's her second marriage, but she's marrying a man that this is his first marriage, so then we actually will have Sheva Brachos for 7 days. Now in this, the Talmud shows us, based on the book of Ruth, that Boaz, who married Ruth, decided to gather 10 people in order to be able to, according to one opinion, do this special blessing of the Sheva Brachot, or Birchat Chasanim. Now, even though Boaz was previously married, and so was Ruth, they still performed Sheva Brachos at least for 1 day. Now, there is another interpretation as to why Boaz decided to gather 10 people, and it's in order to publicize that he was allowed to marry Ruth. Because Ruth came from the nation Moab. The Torah itself says that Lo Yavo Moavi Bakal Hashem, literally, that you're not allowed to marry someone from Moab. However, Boaz understood that the only prohibition, as we discuss why elsewhere, is only for a Jewish woman to marry a man from Moab, because of the cruelty that the people of Moab, and specifically the men, showed to the Jewish people by not providing food and water. However, the other way around is not the case. Boaz was allowed to marry Ruth because he is allowed to marry a Moabite woman. Now, this was something that was allowed, but he didn't just do it. Instead, he gathered 10 people in order to publicize that this was the law. And this is an important message, because even though Boaz, who was an expert, knew the correct law, he could have said, I'm going to marry her, and it's totally allowed, and I don't care what anyone else thinks. Instead, he publicized the matter in order that everyone should understand that what he is doing is 100% within the guidelines of Jewish law. And this is important for us as well. Even when you know you're doing the right thing, it's also important to make sure that everyone else realizes that. We should not give a negative impression about ourselves that we are potentially violating something, even though the truth is maybe you're not. But just like Boaz, we have to be careful to make sure that we are nikiyim, that we're clean and innocent, not only in God's eyes, but also in the Einei Adam, in the eyes of mankind as well.